welcome everyone to our November 2024 NGH-WA chapter meeting. Again, my name is Joby Solberg. I'm the chapter president, and I'm very excited to introduce our speaker for this month, Ponz, who's talking about the visible subconscious. Goes right along with the new book that just came out. And so we're very thrilled for today talking about the arts of partnering with your subconscious and unlocking hidden potential for personal transformation and subconscious.
Thank you very much for your patience. And my PowerPoint presentation got corrupted this morning, so yeah, I'm not so serious. I have to recreate everything, hence, yeah, but I appreciate your patience. Also, I would like to thank everyone for the invite, for asking me to speaker here so that I can share the wonders of the visible subconscious to all of you and for you to take advantage of it. And also for you to understand how hypnosis is able to help you bring up this wonderful technique to help you in your daily lives. Okay. So the visible subconscious is actually a book. It's a book that I have written and released October 20th. So it's available on Amazon, and it contains stories of people who have awakened or activated this particular ability to be able to physically see a visible representation of their subconscious mind and take advantage of how to use it in their daily lives. So first, let's talk about the subconscious first. So the subconscious mind, there's a lot of studies that were done, but still it's in infancy. So we don't know a lot about the subconscious, but there are studies that are going up, that are being published out there, saying that 95% of everything that we do, our behaviors, all of those, are attributed to the workings of the subconscious. So imagine 95% happening in the background, dictating how we're going to react to something, how we're going to feel about something, how we're going to position our bodies when it comes to different situations and all that. So it's quite powerful. If we have things that we have accumulated in the background all these years, for example, habits, positive or negative, they are either positively or negatively influencing the way we're doing things, the way we're seeing everything. And that's a huge part of our lives. So taking advantage of this concept that is of subconscious, where people were saying that the subconscious is also the composition of everything that we have, all the neurons in our body, the cells, the nervous system that composes the the subconscious mind. And here I am, the simple guy from Marysville, coming in saying you can actually see your subconscious mind, make it visible. And then people would say, what? How is it possible? And then he adds, well, you can actually talk to it. It's like, well, you can talk to your subconscious and you can see it. And then he adds again, well, your visible subconscious would react to you. Whatever you're saying, it will respond back. It's like, this sounds like science fiction. Mm-hmm. And then he adds another thing. The subconscious is actually part of us. And if you interact with this particular thing that you can see, which is part of you, it can help you change your mindset, can help influence your body, change help you with your goals, and a lot of things. So there's a lot of potential in here. So with this visible subconscious, so imagine a God within you, ready to reveal hidden wisdom and transform your life. Are you ready to meet it? Yes. that's what. Okay. So there are several hypnotists in the room and also online, and I recognize that because some of the people here I know want to know more about how hypnosis can hypnosis can help them in their lives. That's why they're here. So if somebody has, for example, an issue with addiction, they're having a problem changing the way they're doing things, and they want to change that. There's a desire, but physically they're having trouble doing that because the programming is right over there. It's controlling or dictating the way they have to do things. And for it to change, the hypnotist puts them on a very relaxed state where the subconscious is active and the conscious mind is inactive or passive. So they do their work with their subconscious mind. Because if you're going to do this, dealing with the subconscious mind, you have to be with a therapist or hypnotherapist who knows what you're doing because there are dangers. So the common knowledge about the subconscious mind is it doesn't know what is right or wrong. It will carry out whatever you tell it. So an expert person has to do that one for you. It can magnify anything negative that a person might say, which is one of the dangers. That's why you have to leave it to the expert. So with the visible subconscious mind, imagine seeing this form, which is part of your subconscious, and then asking it to do stuff. And then sometimes you would say, no, I don't want to do it. So there's the interaction. There's the conscious part that's like bridging you between your bridge between your conscious and your subconscious mind. And it's kind of like a filter. So with this, I would like to introduce you to the concept of the visible subconscious. So it's a form that represents your subconscious mind, which you can perceive and interact with in real time. When I say real time, you'll have the ability to call it anytime. You can see it, you can interact with it, and if you don't need it anymore, it will go away. Okay, it's like having an Alexa. Okay, so as much as I want to give you a lot of information about the visible subconscious, I'm going to do this one in a different way. So I will play this audio file called Deep Dive. It's basically a conversation between two people, which encompasses a lot of things about the visible subconscious, and it can also answer a lot of the questions you may have regarding this concept. Okay, so what we're doing after we play this one and after you listen to it, we're going to proceed with a PowerPoint presentation, which will give a lot more information about this concept. And then we're going to have a Q&A. And of course, I'll show you an exercise that's an extract from my book, which might be able to help you bring out your own visible subconscious.
Seriously mind-bending stuff.
Oh,
The visible subconscious.
okay.
We're talking about actually seeing your subconscious, not just like thinking positive thoughts or whatever.
Yeah.
I've got a stack of fascinating sources here.
Oh, cool.
A book, even a user guide, all about this phenomenon.
I mean, what captivates me about this is the sheer potential for self-improvement, right?
Exactly.
Imagine if we could actually interact with the part of our minds
Right.
that drives so much of our behavior.
It's crazy. Right. That's exactly what we're going to explore in this deep dive.
All right.
What the visible subconscious is, how people are accessing it,
Yeah.
and the truly wild things they're doing with it.
Like what?
We're talking changing the taste of food with your mind,
Mhm.
getting advice from being in Bosco,
Really?
and even seeing your subconscious manifest in a physical form.
It begs the question, what if we've only scratched the surface
Right.
of what our minds are capable of?
I know, it's pretty crazy. Let's start with the basic stuff.
Okay.
This visible subconscious, or VISA.
VISA.
Yeah, it's being described as actually perceiving your subconscious mind as if it had a distinct form.
So like you can see it.
Like you can see it.
Interesting.
The book uses this great analogy.
Okay.
Think of your subconscious like a massive storage unit,
Okay.
packed with programs.
Okay.
Each program is a set of instructions that dictates how we think, feel, and act in different situations. So it's like our automatic responses,
Precisely.
those mental shortcuts we take without even realizing it.
Exactly.
And through hypnosis,
Hypnosis.
yeah, much like how some people experience past life regression.
Right.
The idea is that we can tap directly into these programs through the VISA. Now, this is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
The book highlights individuals
Yeah.
who've had these experiences.
Right.
And one that really stood out to me was Matt,
That.
an IT professional,
Okay, so a tech guy.
who, despite being super analytical and logical, found himself blown away by what happened during his hypnosis sessions.
It's always the tech guys.
I know,
Get this stuff.
I know.
So
Matt's story is a great example
yeah.
of how the VISA can manifest in unexpected ways.
Like
How his first experience was incredibly immersive.
okay.
He felt the weight of armor in his body
What?
and saw vivid scenes. It was like he was transported to another time and place.
It's like something out of a movie.
Right. But it gets even weirder.
Hmm,
Later on, a female figure appeared from a TV screen
from a TV screen.
and interacted with him.
Oh, wow.
That detail really stuck with me too.
Yeah.
It suggests that the subconscious can draw on external stimuli
Right.
or even our deepest fears in creating these visits. So it's not just some random image,
Yeah,
but something deeply personal and potentially meaningful.
exactly.
And then, of course, there's Bosco.
Bosco.
Matt's visit started as this nameless, floating diamond shape.
The diamond.
But over time, it evolved into a distinct entity with its own personality. Okay, wait a minute. A diamond-shaped subconscious named Bosco. I'm hooked.
That's funny.
Tell me more about how this all unfolded.
Well, the book actually includes the dialogue between Matt and the hypnotist when Bosco's name was revealed.
You recorded that.
Yeah, and it's quite humorous.
Oh, really?
It reveals how visibs can have their own quirks,
Okay.
almost like individual personalities.
So it's not just a visual manifestation,
Right.
but something you can interact with, have a conversation with.
Yeah.
That's blowing my mind.
It is fascinating, isn't it? And based on Matt's experience and others documented in the book,
Okay.
they started noticing certain patterns in how these visibs behave.
All right, I need to know everything.
Oh, yeah.
What were some of the key characteristics they observed?
One of the first things they noticed was that Matt had complete control. He could summon Bosco and make him disappear at will.
Like on command.
Like, yeah, on command. But interestingly, Bosco's clarity seemed to be linked to Matt's sleep patterns.
So if he was tired, Bosco might be a bit blurry
Precisely.
or less responsive.
Yeah, it suggests a connection to mental energy,
Okay.
or perhaps even specific brain states conducive to accessing the visib.
Yeah, how do they actually communicate? Was Bosco speaking out loud? Or was it something else?
The book describes a variety of communication methods.
Okay.
Bosco would sometimes communicate through beeps, almost like a sonar signal.
Wow.
Other times, thoughts would just appear and match mine as if implanted there.
That's trippy.
Yeah, and then there were visual gestures like Bosco pointing or nodding.
Wow, a direct line of communication with your subconscious. That's incredible. And it sounds like Bosco was more than just a passive observer.
Absolutely.
Like he was participating.
Yeah, he would respond to Matt's questions, offer advice,
Really?
and even sing songs.
Wait, hold on. Bosco could sing on command.
It seems so.
That's hilarious.
And beyond the entertainment factor,
Yeah.
Matt found Bosco to be incredibly supportive,
Oh, really?
especially when it came to making healthy choices.
So Bosco became like a personal cheerleader,
It certainly appears that way.
helping him stay on track with his goals.
What's fascinating is that the visibs seem to reflect the individual's personality, almost like a personalized extension of their inner world.
So it's not a one size fits all kind of
I
thing.
know.
Tell me about some of the other people in there. This
Absolutely. Another individual featured in the book is Liam.
Leah,
His visib was a cloud-like entity named Richard.
Richard.
And unlike the chatty Bosco, Richard was much less communicative. In fact, over time, Richard even started identifying as Liam himself, further blurring the line between the subconscious and the conscious self.
That's really intriguing. It challenges the idea that Visib is always a separate entity.
Right.
It seems like the manifestations and interactions can be incredibly diverse.
The book briefly mentions several other individuals with unique visibs. Some were animal-like, others were abstract shapes, each with its own communication style and personality. It's a testament to the vast spectrum of human consciousness and how it can express itself in such fascinating ways.
That's crazy. Okay, so we've got all these people with their unique Visibs.
Right.
But what are they actually doing with them?
Yeah.
How are they using this ability to create real change in their lives?
So that's where the rubber meets the road, right?
Yeah.
The book is packed with compelling examples of how people are using their visibs to make tangible improvements in their lives.
Really good stuff.
Yeah.
What kind of real world applications do we talk about?
Well, remember how Matt was able to feel the weight of armor during his first hypnosis session?
Yeah.
It turns out he was also able to numb his hand during a test, almost like self-induced anesthesia.
Oh, wow.
Another individual, Ethan, used his visib to significantly reduce pain
Really?
while getting a tattoo. Pain management, that's huge. Imagine the potential applications in healthcare.
Absolutely. But it goes beyond just pain management. Matt was also able to change the taste of a lemon,
What?
making it taste like a sweet orange,
Serious?
simply by asking Bosco to do it.
Hold on. He could actually change the flavor of something with his mind.
It's pretty mindful.
How is that possible?
The book describes how he can also alter the smell of the lemon,
Really?
either making it smell like an orange or completely masking the scent.
Wow, that's incredible. Think about the implications for things like food cravings
Yeah.
or addiction.
The possibilities are really exciting.
Yeah.
And this ability to manipulate sensations extends beyond taste and smell.
Oh,
There are accounts of people using their visibs to numb sensations,
really?
almost like they had a local anesthetic.
So it's not just about managing existing pain,
Right.
but potentially altering how the body perceives sensations altogether.
Exactly.
That's wild. The book also explores how V-subs can play a role in motivation and focus.
Oh, interesting.
Think of it like having a personal life coach
Oh,
residing in your subconscious,
yeah.
always there to cheer you on.
Okay, I like where this is going. My own personal hype man. Sign me up.
People have described using their V-subs to stay on track with their goals,
Okay.
make healthier choices, and even overcome procrastination.
Wow.
It's like having that extra push when you need it most.
This all sounds amazing, but let's talk about the science for a second.
Okay.
Is there any explanation
Yeah.
for how these seemingly impossible feats are actually happening?
The book delves into some fascinating research
Okay.
that shows how hypnosis can actually alter brain activity
Oh, okay.
and influence bodily functions.
Really?
Think about brain regions like the anterior cingulate cortex,
Okay.
which plays a role in pain perception,
Yeah.
or the prefrontal cortex, which is involved in decision making and self control.
So it's not magic, but rather a targeted way of tapping into the brain's natural abilities.
That's the current thinking.
Okay.
The idea is that the V-sub could be a personalized application of these principles,
Yeah.
influencing specific areas of the brain through focused intention and visualization.
Okay.
It's like a biofeedback loop where you're consciously interacting with your subconscious
Right.
to produce measurable changes in your body and mind.
Okay. That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
But it's still pretty incredible. We're talking about intentionally influencing brain activity in a way that produces tangible results.
And here's where it gets even more fascinating.
Okay.
Some say with deep relaxation,
Okay.
meditation, and even REMs,
Oh,
states where the subconscious mind is thought to be more accessible.
so it's like creating a bridge between the conscious and subconscious.
That's
For
fascinating.
a more direct dialogue. So
And while we still have much to learn about the intricacies of the brain,
yeah.
these findings offer a glimpse into the potential mechanisms underlying the visib phenomenon.
But let's not forget that there's still so much we don't know about it. Right? It's like we're constantly uncovering new layers of complexity.
Absolutely. And the visible subconscious is just one piece of this incredible puzzle.
Right.
It challenges our current understanding of the mind
Yeah.
and opens up a world of possibilities for what we might be capable of.
Speaking of mind-blowing possibilities,
Oh, yeah.
one of the most intriguing parts of the book is where the author actually interviews a visible subconscious.
Oh, yes. The interview with Ethan's Blue.
Yeah.
It's an incredibly insightful conversation
Okay.
that sheds light on how to interact with these entities
Right.
and reveals some key principles about their nature.
Tell me everything. What did Ethan's Blue have to say?
Well, one thing that stood out was the emphasis on using specific positive language when making requests
Oh, okay.
instead of vaguely wishing for something.
Yeah.
It's crucial to be clear and intentional with your words.
So it's not like a genie in a bottle where you just make a wish
Right,
and it magically comes true.
exactly,
You need to be precise and deliberate in your communication with the visible.
precisely. Ethan's Blue also highlighted the idea that the visib is a part of the individual,
Okay.
not some external force controlling them. It's more like an extension of yourself,
Yeah.
a personalized tool for growth and transformation.
Okay, that makes sense. It's not about giving away your power,
Yeah.
rather learning to harness the power within. What else did Ethan's Blue?
Another crucial point was the visib's ability to evolve and adapt over time. It's
Okay.
not a static entity,
Right.
but rather something that can grow and learn alongside you.
So it's like a relationship
Yeah.
where the more you invest in it,
Yeah.
the stronger, more effective it becomes.
Yeah. That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
And this raises an important question. If our V-subs are capable of evolving, what are the limits of their potential?
Right.
What could we achieve if we could fully harness the power of our visible subconscious minds?
That's a tantalizing thought, but let's be realistic.
Okay.
Not everyone is going to have Bosco or an is blue, just waiting to pop up.
That's a fair point.
What about those of us who might be a bit more, shall we say,
Yeah.
subconsciously challenged?
The book does mention that certain factors can influence an individual's ability to access their visa,
Like what?
susceptibility to hypnosis,
Okay,
and a willingness to engage with the process are key.
so it's not a guaranteed thing for everyone,
Right.
but the book and user guide do offer techniques and exercises
Yeah,
that people can use to explore their own subconscious, even if they don't immediately see a distinct form.
absolutely. And remember, even if we can't physically see our subconscious,
Yeah,
it's still there working behind the scenes, shaping our thoughts, feelings, and actions every single day.
so maybe the visible subconscious is more of a spectrum than a yes or no situation.
Yeah,
Some people might see a clear form. Others might experience it as more of a feeling or intuition.
right.
And still, others might need to work on developing that connection.
I think that's a brilliant way to put it.
Yeah.
It's all about finding what works best for you and exploring the vast landscape of your own mind.
Well, I'm ready to keep exploring. This is just too fascinating to stop now.
Oh, yeah.
What else can you tell me about these visible subconscious forms and how they interact?
One aspect that really caught my attention was their ability to manipulate sensations beyond just taste and smell.
Okay,
We've already touched on pain management.
Yeah.
But the book delves into some even more mind-boggling examples.
layers. Hit me with the good stuff.
Well, remember Matt and his ability to alter the taste of a lemon.
Yeah,
The book describes how he could also manipulate his sense of touch. He could make objects feel heavier or lighter, rougher or smoother.
wait, so he could literally change how things felt to him.
It's pretty incredible, right?
That's insane.
And there are even accounts of people using their visibs to alter their perception of temperature.
What?
They could make a cold object feel warm or a hot object feel cool just by asking their visib to do it.
That's like having built-in climate
Exactly. And the implications of this are huge.
control. Okay,
Imagine being able to manage chronic pain conditions,
right.
reduce sensitivity to extreme temperatures,
Yeah.
or even enhance sensory experiences in a positive way.
This is starting to sound like something out of science fiction.
Yeah.
But are there any real examples of people using these abilities to overcome actual challenges?
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
The book is full of compelling evidence.
Like what?
For example, there's the story of Laura, who struggled with anxiety and negative thought patterns. She named her visib Joseph
Joe.
after a friend's ex-boyfriend who always brought her immense happiness.
So she associated her visit with a feeling of joy and positivity.
Exactly.
Uh,
And through her interactions with Joseph, Laura learned to reframe her perspective,
oh,
focus on the good, and ultimately experience more joy in her.
it's like Joseph helped her reprogram her default thought patterns,
Yeah,
replacing negativity with a more optimistic outlook.
that's a great way to put it. And what's even more impressive is that Laura described how Joseph helped her improve her communication skills,
Really?
especially in her relationship with her partner.
So it's not just about internal changes,
Right.
but also about how we interact with the world around us.
It highlights how the visible subconscious can influence not just our thoughts and feelings,
Right.
but also our behavior and relationships.
Okay, so we've got pain management, sensory manipulation, emotion regulation, improved communication. This is starting to sound like a recipe for a happier, healthier life.
It certainly seems that way.
Yeah,
And the stories don't stop there. There's Sam, who was initially skeptical about the whole visib concept,
really.
but eventually embraced it with the help of his starburst-shaped visib named Ben.
So even the skeptics can come around and say, yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And through his interactions with Ben,
Yeah.
Sam was able to make healthier choices regarding food,
Oh, wow.
improve his sleep schedule, and even experience profound relaxation.
Sounds like Ben was a real game changer for Sam.
He definitely played a significant role in Sam's personal growth journey.
Yeah.
And the book highlights how Sam used Ben to confront his fear of authority and embrace his own inner power.
Wow. So it's not just about making superficial changes,
Right.
but also about addressing deeper psychological issues.
Exactly.
Wow.
The visible subconscious can act as a guide and mentor, helping us unlock our full potential and overcome the limitations we place on ourselves.
This is all so mind-blowing, but I have to admit, I'm still a bit skeptical.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if this phenomenon is real
Yeah.
and people are actually experiencing these incredible results,
Right.
why haven't we heard more about it?
Mm.
Why isn't everyone talking about the visible subconscious?
That's an excellent question. And I think there are a few possible explanations. First, it's a relatively new concept,
Okay.
at least in terms of the way it's presented in the book and user guide.
Okay.
It's only recently that people have started sharing their experiences
Right.
and developing techniques to access the visible subconscious.
So it's like we're at the beginning of a wave of discovery.
Exactly.
It's just starting to scratch the surface of what's possible.
Second, it's a radical concept
Okay.
that challenges our conventional understanding of the mind.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit neatly into our existing scientific paradigms,
Right.
which can lead to resistance or skepticism from the mainstream scientific community.
That makes sense. It's like anything that disrupts the status quo.
Right,
It takes time for new ideas to be accepted and integrated to the mainstream.
precisely. And third,
It's a very personal and subjective experience.
okay,
Not everyone who tries hypnosis or visualization techniques will see a distinct form,
right.
and even those who do might have vastly different experiences.
So it's not like there's a standardized test
Right.
or a scientific instrument that can measure the visible subconscious.
Exactly.
It relies on individual perception and interpretation,
Yeah.
which makes it difficult to study and quantify.
You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah,
But just because we don't fully understand something,
Right.
or can't measure it with our current tools,
yeah.
doesn't mean it's not real, or that the experiences people are having aren't valid.
That's an important point to remember.
Yeah.
Science is constantly evolving,
Absolutely.
and what might seem impossible today could be commonplace tomorrow.
Absolutely. And that's what makes this whole exploration so exciting.
It really has been a wild ride.
It has.
But before we wrap up and send our listeners off
Yeah.
to explore their own subconscious,
I think we need to address the elephant in the room.
okay, what's that?
This all sounds a bit too good to be true, right?
I mean, I can understand the skepticism.
Yeah.
It's natural to question something
Great.
that seems so extraordinary, so outside the realm of our everyday experience.
So how do we reconcile these incredible anecdotes,
Right,
these seemingly miraculous results,
yeah.
with the lack of mainstream scientific evidence?
It's to remember that the scientific study of consciousness and the subconscious mind is
Yeah.
still in its relative infancy.
Okay.
It's still trying to unravel the mysteries of the brain
Right.
and the visible subconscious, with its reliance on subjective experience,
Yeah.
presents unique challenges for traditional research methods.
It's like we're trying to map an uncharted territory.
Yeah.
Using tools designed for a completely different landscape.
That's a great analogy. It might be some time
Yeah.
before we have double-blind studies and peer-reviewed papers on Bosco and Ben,
So you're saying,
but that doesn't mean we should dismiss the phenomenon together.
so not throwing the baby out with the bathwater,
Right,
but also not blindly accepting everything we hear.
exactly. It's about finding that balance.
Yeah.
Between healthy skepticism and a willingness to explore new ideas,
Right.
even those that seem radical or far-fetched.
And ultimately,
Yeah.
it's up to each individual to decide what they believe and
Absolutely.
how they want to engage with this concept.
Personal growth is all about self-discovery.
Right.
There's no one right path, no single answer that fits everyone.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
But before we go, I'm going to leave our listeners with a huddle thought-provoking question.
Okay,
Something to ponder as they embark on their own subconscious adventures.
I'm intrigued.
If you could see and interact with your subconscious mind,
Yeah.
what would you ask it to help you achieve?
Hmm.
What dreams would you pursue? What fears would you conquer?
Wow, that's a powerful question.
It is, right?
It really forces us to confront our deepest desires and the untapped potential within each of us.
And who knows?
Yeah,
Maybe exploring those possibilities, even if we don't see a literal form,
right.
like Bosco or Ben, could lead to incredible breakthroughs.
Perhaps the visible subconscious is a metaphor for the transformative power of the mind,
Yeah,
a reminder that we are capable of far more than we often realize.
beautifully said.
Thank you.
And on that note, we'll leave you to ponder those possibilities.
Okay,
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the visible subconscious.
it's been fun.
It's been an incredible exploration.
Until next time,
Yeah,
keep exploring, keep questioning,
right.
and keep an open mind to the incredible potential that lies within each of us.
Okay,
That was really great, everybody. Thank you.
yeah, wonderful. It's quite long, but it's packed with information. I know we might be having some information overload, but yeah, we have the Q&A portion later on. Okay, so do you want me to continue with the PowerPoint presentation here?
Yeah, yes.
Um,
No, I think as long as it's recording well, we're good.
Okay. Okay, so we're going, so what else do you think about the deep dive?
Well, for me, I feel like we could all identify with the different scenarios. It's like, yes, I've had that happen, you know, in our different fields of expertise.
Mhm.
So I really like the deep dive was so broad in its applications. That was great.
It's good. Okay, anyone else?
I wanted to say, I think it's a really nice digestible way to introduce, you know, the concept of hypnosis to people, because if you start with the word hypnosis, you know, they're gonna mention chickens or something.
Yeah.
So when you kind of intrigue them with all the great things hypnosis can do, you know,
Yeah.
and you know, I think that the frame of having, you know, this model is great too, and I think would work well for a lot of people who are visual, and you know, I think it's really a good introduction for people who don't know what hypnosis is. I think it's pretty cool with the dialogue and
Yeah, good job.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Bringing to the attention that it's the measurable outcomes. So with difficult in the paradigm of the current scientific community, so we got to change our approach.
Right,
yeah, right. It addressed
for sure.
And that it was a spectrum, right? Some people are gonna
Spectrum.
have that visual. Some people are gonna have more of the intuition of the knowing, and some people just need to work on having more of a connection because maybe they're birds. So I
Right,
think that's important for people to understand that it's not just a flip of a switch, like, yes, you can do it or no, it's a spectrum. So I like that.
yeah, it's true. Anyone else before we proceed? All right, yes. Oh, no.
That's over my eye.
Exercising. All right, thank you so much for all those feedback. So to continue with the PowerPoint presentation, some of it have already been covered by during the deep dive, but it's like
With this, today, we're diving in.
no, we already okay. So these are characteristics. So in general, it has its own quirks. So it may reflect part of the owner's personality. So some of the V subs that appeared, it may reflect some of your best personalities, like you're in your A game. And when you call on it, that's the vibe that it's giving out. So you're talking to somebody who is like more confident, and that inspires you to be more confident as well. This is just an example. It can be a problem that's acceptable to the person. You're not going to conjure anything that's scary for you. Your subconscious will work with whatever you have on there that's all right with how you see, and also aligns with your interests. For example, Liam, who is part of the book, well mentioned in the book, he is interested in anatomy. So that's what he is interested about. And his visa changed from the cloud to a big brain. Physical brain is kind of like looking at him, whatever it calls it. It's looking at him, it's like a big brain, but it's colored grayscale. It's like black and white. It's not the color. So yeah, it's interesting the way the other B subs are look like and how they behave. So they may also evolve over time. So you won't get bored with having your own visa, having that same look for the first time you've met it. So it evolves over time depending on what you need as well. May change its form, may change parts of it. Or for example, Bosco is like a diamond, floating diamond that's slowly rotating. Matt has that one. And over time, it's made of one side is like gray and the other one is red. And over time, it had some lights and it changed the color and it became more solid looking. So it may evolve over time. Blue, which is also mentioned in during the deep dive. Blue is the visible subconscious or V sub of Ethan. Ethan is to be an ex-military person, worked in the military, and he had that V sub. It's form of a woman that's made of water, and it has an umbilical cord that connects itself to the river. So that's how it looks like, which is interesting. What else? So it may respond with sounds, gestures, words, vibe, or inserting thoughts in the mind. So not all these subs act the same or respond the same way. So I guess it depends on your personality as well, what works for you best. So some of them, for example, Bosco, that floating triangular thing that's slowly rotating, it usually responds by beeps, like to acknowledge your request. For example, you ask it to help you be more confident about when you go to presentations or to some to present. all of those. It does the acknowledgement, that's sound. And then some blue, he's more, it doesn't talk, she doesn't talk, but it's more on the gestures. Like if if it acknowledges that that's yes, it will give the happy now. It's like, yeah, yeah. And if it's no, it's like, no, that's a no for her. And then it's like, if she's not sure, it's like, oh, not sure. Without the words. So it's more of gestures. But it's like if you have a visa, you have to establish your communication style with it. Know what it means with yes, no, and don't know. Or sometimes if your question or request requires a more complicated answer, you will instantly get a thought in your head distinct from what your thoughts are. So you know that it's separate. It's like inserting your thoughts into your head, and that is its answer, and you recognize it because it's quite distinct. Okay, it can be seen with eyes closed or open. So V-subs. So it's not all of the V-subs that somebody can just see them with their eyes. Some can see them with their eyes open when they call on it. Some they don't see it with their eyes open. When they close their eyes and call on it, that's the time that they can see it. Okay, and when I say real time, they don't have to go into a meditative state first before calling on it and seeing it. So it's like me being here, I close my eyes and I call on it, and I can see its form, and then I can communicate with it. So some it's both. Even with eyes open or closed, they can call on it and see it. But there are other ones where they have they don't necessarily see it first. Maybe it's because of how they're susceptible. There's susceptibility to hypnosis and being open to all of that. So some, when they do the exercises, they get a prominent presence, kind of like they're aware that there's something prominent there, which is their visible subconscious, and it responds to whatever they ask it. It can give you some vibes or some strong emotions referring to the answers, and that you can build on that. So some don't necessarily see it, but eventually some may be able to see it the more they connect with it, their visa or subconscious. Okay, so what activate the visible subconscious? According to the deep dive, there's a lot of things that you can benefit from it, and there's a lot of potential as well. So I presented you the visible subconscious, that concept. I presented you the experiences of people, how they activated it, and how they used it. And it's up to you in your creativity to use it in whatever way you need in your life. Okay, so it's just limited by your creativity and also your need. Yeah, it's like imagine having a personal mentor with you. Okay, so now everybody's saying, I want one, I want one. Okay, so how do you activate your visible subconscious? There are actually 3 ways of activating them, or at least 3 ways that I know of. So one is self-hypnosis exercise. By the way, the exercise, I extracted one exercise from my book, and then we'll send it to you as a PDF for the ones for attending. I'll send it by the chat, so you can try it. So the self-hypnosis exercise and also hypnosis audio file. I'll be putting a hypnosis audio file on the website, which will be available on Monday. For those who want to download that one and have a guided way of meditation, kind of like meditation, but listening to the hypnosis audio file to help you increase your chances of bringing out the visible subconscious, your own visible subconscious. And the next one is hypnosis session from a trained hypnotist. So this is a fairly new concept. So you cannot just go to a hypnotist, any hypnotist or hypnotherapist, and then ask them, oh, I want a session to bring out the visible subconscious. And then you're going to say, what are you talking about? So if you have your favorite hypnotist or hypnotherapist, you can send them a link, and I'll be posting their course, an online course about the visible subconscious. Also includes a process now, visible subconscious user guide, so that they have all the things that they need to know, because they already know how to do hypnosis, but the process itself of bringing out the visible subconscious would be laid out there to for them to help the users have a smoother experience of bringing out their visible subconscious. Also, they will get a certificate of completion after the course. Okay, personalizing your connection. So you must have heard that the visible subconscious have names. According to the deep dive, one's named Bosco. The military guy was referred to his as blue because it's colored blue, made of water. And all the other names. So Bosco was not a name that was selected by that person. So when he was seeing that that slowly rotating diamond right in front of him, I asked him to ask what his name is. And he said he started smiling and he said, oh, he said his name is Bosco. So it was the visible subconscious or subconscious that said its name.
Yeah.
But it's not always the case. Okay, so with others, it's not going to give your name. But if you don't, you can give it a name to make it more personalized interaction. And also sometimes a name will suddenly pop into your mind when you ask it what's its name. So you can either give it that name or you can give it a different name. It's totally up to you. So learn is unique mode of communication. Like I said, it's like do you watch Star Trek? So they go into a different planet and they discover this species. And they try to see what the communication style of it, what it means, or like yes or no, or maybe. So they establish the basic communication. So it's very similar to having a visible subconscious. It's important for you to know what it means, and it's personalized, it's different for everybody. Foster trust and alignment with your unique characteristics. The visible subconscious is as unique as you are. So it's different. One will not have the same visible subconscious as another person. It's totally unique to you. Okay, success stories. We've heard a couple, but going through this, Carlos overcoming anxiety. That's one example. So anxiety, he had a traumatic event, and then that caused him to whenever he's going to drive, it gives him panic attacks whenever he stays in the car for quite a long time. And sometimes it's important for him to go to work sites that involves like 30 minutes or an hour of drive. And that causes panic attacks because it lets him stay in his car for quite a long time. So with his visible subconscious, he was able to help his body and mind relax during the drives. And it's not overnight, but eventually after a few weeks, it get lessened and lessened until it became normal for him to drive. That's one of the good examples. One is another one is mass relief from COVID-19 vaccine. Who among you have had the COVID vaccine and experienced all the unpleasant side effects? Pain on the side, on the arm, injection area, fever, cough, all those. So he was experiencing all of these, and then he asked the visible subconscious to help relieve some of the symptoms. And then almost immediately, he felt one on the side of his arm where the injection area was, and then the pain suddenly subsided. And then his throat, he was coughing, and that also got relief. He got relief from that. And his headache, he was experiencing headache. And for every pulse of the headache that he felt, it became lesser and lesser and lesser. But the other symptoms were still there, but those were the main ones. And that was a good help for him. So it's like, I'll take whatever would help you feel better. So it shows the power of the subconscious over the body. Next one, Jamie's relaxation on a long flight. So Jamie was on a flight, he didn't get enough sleep, and he wanted to get some rest while on the plane. So but the thing is, he couldn't get into he couldn't sleep in spite of him having less sleep. So that's quite frustrating for him. So he closed his eyes, did a couple of deep breaths, and he thought he always already relaxed. And then he remembered, he had this whole subconscious, let's give it a try. So he called it in with his eyes closed, and he asked it to help him relax so that he can get some sleep. And then almost immediately after a few seconds, he felt his wave of relaxation wash over him. And then he felt his shoulders drop. And he thought, I thought I already relaxed my shoulders, and it dropped further. So he almost opened his eyes when he felt that because it was quite dramatic and it was unexpected. So he thought, okay, that's quite effective. I'm going to use it again next time. Yeah. So integrating into daily life. If you're into mindfulness, you can pair that with mindfulness. always say thank you, because it's different if you develop an attitude of gratitude. Which is important. Also, daily rituals, integrate into your daily rituals when you take a walk. Before you can contact your subconscious, visit the subconscious, and then just digest whatever happened during that day. Okay, elephant in the room that was addressed, and also I've mentioned this one. Conclusion and call to action. Start your journey today if you want your visible subconscious and you want to improve your life, your teacher mindset, all of those. So it has its immense applications and something to ponder on the three things I was going to reiterate, which was mentioned during the deep dive. You could see and interact with your subconscious mind. What would you ask it to help you achieve? What are your goals? What dreams would you pursue if you have a personal coach that would help you get into that, help you achieve those dreams, get you back on track? What fears would you conquer? So some of us have our own fears. And if you know that you can have a visible subconscious, your own personal ally to help you conquer those fears, would you do it? Okay, the Visible Subconscious book is available on Amazon. It became a bestseller on applied psychology and new age new thought categories, which I'm happy about. And it's available as an ebook format or also physical book.